Here we have the view from my room in the morning. It's been raining all night, so I've been hearing lightning, well, hearing thunder. Oh, and breakfast came. Lovely! Breakfast is here. So I ordered breakfast, said what time I'd like it to arrive, and so she had it already on time. So it got scrambled egg and toast with tomato, and then there's a fruit plate. Looks like papaya, watermelon, and pineapple. And then there's tea. But this is the view we'll have to look at as we have breakfast. It's so lovely. Nora? Lovely. Katie, nice to meet you.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready. So we're going for a day trip with our driver, Nora. So watch out, Daddy's trying to pass you. So we're heading out. I'll let him go on this side and I'll go on the other side.
Yeah.
Actually, is it okay if I go in the front?
Yeah?
Yeah.
You in the front?
If I can.
Yeah.
So today we're going to go check out some temples in Bali with a driver. And so he's going to take us around for the day.
Yeah.
Perfect. I did the conversion yesterday and it's basically like $55 for the day transportation. No, we haven't been to Ubud Palace.
This is the Ubud Palace.
Okay.
Last time the village temple, they have some big ceremony. It's already 35 years don't have been like this, but now it's starting again. But it's already done. They're making penyor. This the bamboo with the decorations.
Nice.
Is it also like for welcoming, or like the god now? Is they have some ceremony here?
How long will these decorations be up?
To make it?
Like
or
no,
they keep it?
For them to keep it.
Be about 1 month.
1 month. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that in India they celebrate Diwali.
Yeah.
Do you have a holiday coming up in the winter time? Like, do you have any special holiday?
We have the ceremony here.
Mm-hmm.
We have the every month.
Mm-hmm.
Every month, like full moon, dark moon is for the Indra, is the god for the moons.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the celebration every 6 months. The name is Galungan and Kuningan days. Is it every 210 days? 6 month Bali.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then every years we have the Nyepi. Nyepi is the silent day. When is the silent day, you are cannot to go out from the house, from the homes. If you are tourism, just stay at the hotel. Yeah, and no fire, no light, no internet, no televisions. Everything's closed. No gambling.
Wow.
You must be control your emotion to. Is it that 24 hours? Start from the 6 a.m. in the morning until 6 a.m. the other day.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is this on the left? Is that rice?
Yeah, that's what he said, a rice field.
Wow.
Just passed by the monkey forest. We can see the rice fields in this area. We're getting really beautiful views of the mountains, so hopefully the weather stays nice. We can get good views today. I was learning about typical family structure here. They were saying that when you get married, you have to agree where you're gonna live. So it's often the wife moves in with the husband's family, but it can be the opposite, especially if she doesn't have brothers, or in theory they could live in both places. And then they would have the family temple where they live. Our guide stops so we can look at the view. The tallest mountain is partially covered, but you can see an island off in the distance. It's so beautiful. It rained all night, so I was afraid we were going to be in the rain all day, but it's looking really gorgeous here. And we're heading up to a temple. And there's a place selling strawberries, so I'm assuming my dad will look at the strawberries and probably buy some, knowing him. I'm just waiting for my dad. I got the tickets here. We're going to check out this first temple. It's right at a lake. It took us about an hour and a half to get here from Ubud. It's Ulundanu Baratam. So we'll look around and see what we think. Just have to wait for him and then we'll go check it out. So it shows you like the photo stops. We'll go check out the gardens. It's beautiful. The views here are already gorgeous. Although they have some random things like corn and a random strawberry. But otherwise, you see the lake behind. These beautiful grounds. Our driver said that we wouldn't be able to go enter the temple, but we'll be able to see the temple. I thought I'd look at the rules because there's some interesting ones. It says that we aren't allowed to enter the temple area, and then dress modestly, and then forbidden to climb statues in sacred temple buildings. Women who are menstruating are prohibited from entering the temple area. Maintain the purity, cleanliness, and preservation of the temple environment. Really beautiful. What are you doing in there? Can this place get any more beautiful? You can see it's a popular place, which makes sense because it's gorgeous. I don't know if it's how well it's going to translate, but it's absolutely beautiful. You can see people in the swan boats, they're paddle boats. I don't know about you, but I remember years ago I went on a paddle boat and it was so annoying. I told myself I'd never force myself to do that again, and I kept that promise to myself. You can see there's people who are pedaling harder and they're moving forward, and other people, the wind is pushing them back. If you want to have a really traditional looking photo, where would you go? Here, you can rent traditional Balinese costumes, and then they'll take your photo at this gate with the water behind you. And you would have all these other views. So if you wanted to rent a costume, you could do that. It tells you what the prices are. So for example, it tells you the cost per couple and per person based on the outfit. So it's looking like it's 90,000 for one person. A couple is more than that, depends on which kind of costumes. I'm seeing like certain ones which are 150 per person and 280 per couple, which sounds like a lot of money, but 150,000 is like $10. So it's not free, but definitely not so bad. If you're looking to have like a really cool Balinese photo, this would be the spot to do it. I guess they're letting people hold snakes, and they have a rabbit house. This is where I would be a Debbie Downer. This is a very famous coffee, luwak coffee, but I don't ever want to have it or try it. So why am I telling you about it? Because a lot of people don't realize how it can be bad. The only reason why, actually I should say, I will never have it unless I could make sure they're actually using wild luwak, because the problem is it's like a wild cat, and with that cat it goes into the coffee fields from, like, this is the coffee tree here, and it eats the ripe coffee cherries, and then they take the poop from the animal and they process that coffee, and then you can drink it. If you're a fan of the movie The Bucket List, in that movie they try that coffee. I think, to me, that's when I first heard about it. But the reason why I don't like it and I don't recommend it is because these animals are now kept in cages. So by drinking this coffee, you're encouraging them to take wild animals, put them in a cage, and feed them coffee. So what used to be something that was like a byproduct from the wild animals is now something that means that animals are kept in cages. And the more you practice tourism, the more I'm very sensitive about how animals are used. It can be really sad or a bad part of it. So not like a happy-go-lucky story, unfortunately, but that's why I don't want to have any luwak coffee here in Indonesia, or ever. Like I said, if I knew that they were so wild, it would be a different story, but the fact that they are kept in cages just means it does not appeal to me. But if you look at the prices, you'll see it's a lot more expensive than luwak coffee. So not only will you get to not support the abuse of wild animals, you also get to have a better coffee, or a cheaper cup of coffee, at least, if you don't get the luwak coffee. So that's your PSA about the coffee here in Indonesia. If you get annoyed by people taking photos for Instagram or whatever, then do not check out this temple, because that's what a lot of people are doing. I don't blame them. It's a beautiful area. But if that's not your scene, which I've been to places where I thought, okay, I don't need to watch every Instagram or model at this spot. The point being, you'll see a lot of that, and that shouldn't be surprising. It's very photogenic here. But that's your heads up. That's true for here. Also, like the rice fields, all kinds of places when you go to in Bali. That's one of the things that have made it so trendy to go here, but I think it's worth it. This is the history of the temple. I guess it's a really fertile area. When the people came here and they were harvesting the rice north to the south, by the time they finished harvesting in the north and went to the south, they would harvest in the south, and so they felt that by harvesting all the time they were getting really tired, and then a miracle happened, and where they were harvesting it turned into a lake. And later a king, he thought it was a sacred place, and so he had this temple built here. This is a very simplified version, what I took from the information provided, but the history of the Ulun Danu Beratan temple. Our little buddy here. It's a type of ungulate, but I have no idea what this guy is. I haven't seen it before. If I have, I don't have any memory of it. Really interesting antlers. It's like hairy at the towards the head, but then it's actual horns at the top. Hello. It's so tiny, it looks like it could fit through these bars. But I guess not. There's another one in the back. Let's see. There they are. They're processing the rice here. You can see the people walking with the baskets of rice. Then it goes over to that machine. They're processing the rice from there, but still cut by hand. He is saying that the make white rice and red rice. The white rice will take 4 months to harvest from planting, and the red is 6 months. If you want like more healthy, they consider red rice more healthy because less carbs, less sugar in the rice. The view is so beautiful, I wanted to stop and look at it. You can see all the rice terraces. You have to pay to enter this area. It's $50,000 per person, which is like a little more than $3 per US dollars per person. And that's to enter the areas of the rice fields. Like it was determined to be a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2012. Partially because of the irrigation system and the way they use the water to irrigate the rice terraces here. Maybe you want to see what rice looks like when it's growing. This is a rice field. You can see all the grains in the rice field. I believe what we have in front of us are poinsettias, or poinsettias. And then there's a plumeria to the left, a coconut tree above. And majority of what you're seeing is rice terraces. It's nice, especially if you like the sound of running water, because there's a lot of running water here for the irrigation canals that they have here to water all the rice fields. And all over, you'll see these little temples for offerings. Even in the car we're sitting in, the driver, he has a little spot in the front where he puts offerings. He said he does that every day, puts fresh flowers there. You can see the moped. It's the time of harvest here. More harvested rice, and you can hear the machine. You can see it a little bit by the tree that they're processing the rice they harvested through. You see the shaft being thrown to the side, and the people taking the rice and processing it. When we came into the town, our guide was showing us the different houses that the people will have to store the rice, and you can tell their wealth based on how many buildings they have to store the rice from their fields. So some families will have one, some will have two. But there are these special houses on stilts to store the rice. And you have white rice or red rice. Mr. Smoothie Man is having another strawberry smoothie.
Very good.
Do you hear that? That was a 5 very good smoothie. Makes him happy. And they put mint in it again. I got a fresh coconut. We'll see how young it is. It actually does look really young. You can tell because see how thin the flesh is? There isn't much coconut meat. It tells you the coconut is young. If it's thick, it's not a young coconut. I wanted to try the red rice. So I have red rice, a salad, and then a teriyaki chicken with my fresh coconut. My dad got a burger and fries and salad. No ketchup or sauce. I really enjoyed lunch. I didn't eat all the rice, but the chicken and the veggies were so good, and the rice is really good too. If I didn't know it was red rice, or didn't see it, I would think it's regular, it's white rice. So, if you're thinking about trying it, I recommend it. And just beautiful view and atmosphere as we have lunch.
Sticky rice, we have the white and black. It's more for the sweet here, for like a dessert, like a mango sticky rice. People do hiking to the Mount Batukaru.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Here at the entrance to the temple, you have to wear a sarong to cover your knees. My guide told me not to go too much to one side because that's where the monkeys hang out. Because I told them I didn't want the monkeys. This is the water used for purification here at the temple. Huge koi pond.
The sound is the traditional music. They like visiting here. Yeah, the temple. They visiting here.
That looks like hair. Is that real hair?
Yeah, it's true.
So they would do this all the time, or is this a special thing?
It's special, special. Because every temple they have their own ceremony. They come here for visiting, taking something from it. Not all the time.
Surfers here at the last temple of the day here in Bali.
Area also, then black sandy beach normal here. This is from the China.
So incredibly rude to just push someone off of where they're sitting so they can get a photo where you were sitting. I honestly can't even believe how rude this is. Super rude. This is how you get treated here in Indonesia. Like, I thought I'd just record my feelings. I'm feeling pretty annoyed by the amount of times that you feel like people want you to spend money with them, which I understand happens. For example, we're going to these temples and expected to pay entrance, and tourists, you pay an extra fee compared to locals. I get all that, but then you get in and it's like, oh, you want to use a restroom, you have to pay. You want to, like, anything you want to do, like if you want to get a picture in a certain location, you have to pay. It just takes away from the experience. I wish that they just had it where you're paying enough to enter. In my opinion, it's only $5 a person, so you might think, well, that's not that much. It isn't, and yet you can totally buy a meal for that, and for that just to be your admission, and not to still have to pay for the toilet, still have to pay to take a picture in a certain location, just takes away from it. It starts to feel annoying to me. And if we're talking about, like an extra 25 cents here, 30 cents here, I just wish that they would make it included in the cost. Even if they increase the cost by $1, it just wouldn't feel like you're being asked for money by every spot you look at, So I know I'm complaining, and I probably shouldn't, but that's how I feel right now here in Indonesia. I started to feel that way in Kenya. I think a lot of these places, everybody wants their cut of the tourist money, and that makes sense for them. This might be really a lot of money, the extra, bit of money coming in every day. But as a tourist coming here, it takes away from what you're actually experiencing. It makes me less inclined to want to come back and spend more money. So I think that's something that would be good for people to realize. Anyways, those are my thoughts right now. But I'm gonna go check out the temple and hopefully really enjoy it here. Here's the temple, and to get there, ideally you're going at low tide. That's the easiest time to go over to the temple. We can see there's a cave over there. I guess there's a holy snake. I'm gonna go check that out. But I wanted to see a good sunset. I don't think it's gonna be a good sunset based on clouds, but I'm still planning on trying. I hate to see this trash at the shoreline. Really anywhere, but especially here, knowing it's going out into the ocean. Looks like fishermen are on the cliff there. You can just see the poles there. Those are fishermen. 2. Found this little crab here, hanging out by the rock. I love watching crabs, they're so cute. If you actually need to use these ramps for a wheelchair, I hope your brakes are good, because these things are no joke. This is one of those places where it would be almost impossible to get a photo of just your group. But really cool. Look at, there's like 2 gates to enter. And if you look a picture the other side, you'd have a picture of the view and then maybe even the ocean in the background. I think another thing that made me annoyed were these guys pushed me off the bench I was sitting on over here. Even though I wasn't bothering them or doing anything, they wanted me to get gone or to leave so they could get a picture of people who paid them to get a picture with the snake. Even though they could sit anywhere else, go anywhere else. I find that annoying. I understand if you want to make money, but to tell me like, hey, get out of our picture, when I was just sitting there, made me so annoyed. Oh, he caught the wave. A lot of the actual temples, you don't go onto them, you just get to see them. I remember years ago I went to Uluwatu, which is just around the corner here, and it was the same thing there. You couldn't actually get to the temple, it's just nice views.